All right, let's dive into one of the biggest, oldest, and most important conversations in all of human history, the epic dialogue between faith and reason. I mean, think about it. We've all looked up at the sky at night and wondered, why are we here? We've all struggled with questions of good and evil and what, if anything, comes next. These aren't just idle thoughts. They're the big, universal questions that connect every single one of us. And that's our starting point. So, you've got these massive questions, right? Well, both religion and philosophy are trying to answer them. They're both trying to get to the top of the same mountain, but, and this is the important part, they are taking totally different paths to get there. So let's look at that first path, religion. For billions of people, the journey toward understanding doesn't start with a question. It actually starts with an answer, one that's been revealed, preserved, and passed down through generations.
And the key thing to get here is that religion is all about received truth. It's a whole system built on faith, in sacred texts and traditions and revelation. The idea is that the truth is given to us, not something we have to figure out from scratch.
And you can see why this is so powerful, right? It gives you a whole worldview, a story about creation, about destiny, about what it all means. It gives you a moral code, a clear this is right, this is wrong. Plus, you get rituals, community, and maybe most importantly, a real sense of comfort and certainty in what can feel like a very chaotic world.
Okay, so that's one path. Now, let's flip the script and look at philosophy. It takes a completely opposite approach. If religion often starts with an answer, philosophy always starts with a question. It's a journey, a search, and it's fueled by doubt.
Yeah, philosophy's whole deal is to put every single claim to the test. It demands reason, it demands arguments. You can't just say, because that's how it's always been done. Nope, every single idea has to be poked, prodded, and questioned to see if it really holds up. And this example just makes it so incredibly clear. Religion might present a foundational truth. God created the world. Philosophy immediately comes back with, whoa, hold on, how can we prove that? What do you even mean when you say the word God, or created for that matter? It wants to take everything apart to see how it works. So, you've got these two powerful, very different ways of looking at the world. How on earth have they gotten along throughout history? Well, it pretty much boils down to three main models. You've got conflict, harmony, or complete separation. Let's break those down.
Right, so these are the big three models. The conflict model says faith and reason just can't get along. They're always going to contradict each other. Harmony says, no, they're actually partners, both leading to the very same truth. And separation, that model says they're not even in the same game. They belong to totally different realms of life.
So first up, the conflict model. This is the idea that faith and reason are just at war with each other. And the textbook example, of course, is Galileo. Here you have a scientist whose observations and reason-based arguments went head-to-head with the established authority of the church. It was a showdown, pure and simple. Okay, but what if they're not at war? What if they're actually on the same team? That's the harmony model. The philosopher Augustine had this incredible way of putting it. I believe so that I may understand. You see the shift? For him, faith isn't the enemy of reason. It's the foundation for it. You start with belief, and then you use reason to explore it, to understand it more deeply. Then there's the third option, separation. This model basically says they're not even competing because they're playing two completely different sports. The philosopher Immanuel Kant was a big proponent of this. He argued that reason is great, but it has limits. It can't prove or disprove God. So, what's faith for? According to Kant, it has a totally different and absolutely essential job, being the bedrock for our morality. So this is all fascinating history, but why does any of this matter to us right now? Well, because this isn't some dusty old debate. It is happening all around us every single day. It shapes our world in ways we might not even realize. Let me give you a super simple, everyday example. Picture this. Someone you know is going through a tough time. Maybe they've lost a loved one. One friend offers the comfort of faith, saying something like, she is with God now. Another friend might offer the clarity of reason, asking questions to help them process what they're feeling, to understand what terms like soul really mean to them. See? One offers comfort, the other clarity. Both are trying to help, just using different toolkits. And once you start looking for it, you see this dynamic everywhere. Huge debates about bioethics, what's right and wrong with new technologies, the role of religion in politics, should it have one? The very foundation of our laws, even how we talk about the origin of the universe. All of it. It's all part of the same ancient conversation. Maybe one of the most beautiful ways of thinking about this comes from the philosopher Thomas Aquinas. He had this incredible metaphor. He said, faith and reason are like two wings, not one wing fighting the other, but two wings working together, allowing the human spirit to rise up and really contemplate truth. It's a powerful image, isn't it? And that really brings us to the final thought I want to leave you with. Think about those two wings. Are they separate? Can you fly just fine with only one? Or do they actually need each other to get off the ground, to truly soar towards the truth? What do you think?